Lal Sons, a family business, comprises 3 different companies in 3 different industries. Sudarshan Lal was heading this entire business from inception. 2 years ago, he hired 3 managers, one for each company, and Chhaganlal Jha as a CEO to look after the entire business. So there are 3 pots. He was doing everything. He's got a guy here, and a guy here, and Chagganlal as a CEO. These 3 managers report to the CEO. However, Sudarshan Lal and his family still own the entire business, though they are not involved in day-to-day operations. So Sudarshan Lal is basically stepped back. He's become like a chairman. He's saying, look, I can't go around running around each of these businesses all the time. My blood pressure will shoot through the roof. So I have Chhaganlal Jha, who I trust, who can run and give me an update once a week, twice a week. And he'll have 3 different guys running the show for him and talking to him about it. So he's taking a step back. So think about the kind of things that he'll be worried with. So he's been managing the day-to-day. So he's going to find it very difficult to let go of the day-to-day. But he wants to transition to the headline thing. He cannot be too intrusive. He cannot bypass Chagganlal and then talk to these guys and drive his own agenda. But he has to keep an eye. He needs to know that things are doing well. He needs to have the confidence that over time this show can run without Sudarshan Lal being there 40 hours a week. So the team has to inspire that kind of confidence and build a level of trust so that Sudarshan Lal can cool off and play golf. And that's the idea. So the questions we're going to look at the question. They're going to set the tone, but this is the starting point for us. Let's go here. 2 years after the handing over, important point. 2 years. It's not a long term, but nor is it 2-3 months. Things should have cooled down by then. Sudarshan was concerned that none of the companies except one is profitable. So 1 profit making, and 2 loss making. Which of the following information, if true, will most likely reduce Sudarshan's concerns? Very important. So something here should tell him, hey dude, don't worry, things are fine. It could be just a hiccup or something, just we were building for the long term. Something wrong this year or something wrong in the initial phases, things are actually fine. Right? A leading financial institution recently advised its investors to purchase the shares of the 2 loss-making companies with a long-term outlook. Oh, this is brilliant. I really like this choice. Right? So they're making losses now, but they're still valuable. And so they're loss-making, but the terms that I like, a leading financial institution. So it's not a 2-bit mom-and-pop store who want to take over the company by stealth. These guys have advised investors. Right? And this phrase is very important, long-term outlook. We may be making losses now. Obviously, Sudarshan Lal is a very experienced man. So he'll be able to take news of the loss if he knows that the company is going in the right direction. So a leading financial institution who won't stick their neck out unless they've done their research are convinced about the long-term outlook of the 2 loss-making companies. So good news. I really like that choice. Let's look at the other ones as well. The corporation's performance was stagnant for 3 years before Sudarshan handed it over to performance. This also I like. It's already stagnating. And then it is not like the new guys have created the stagnation, but they're already dealing with something that was already stagnant. Right? The problem here was it was stagnant. It was not necessarily loss-making. And so stagnant is not growing. And so, but now you're seeing losses. So you're running the company, you're not even making money, not just not making money out of it, you're digging into your savings. You might as well not run the company. And so, and even if that means stagnant for 3 years, keeping it still loss-making for 2 further years, that means for 5 years. If this also means not profitable, in 5 years, these 2 entities have not made any money. It's a long time. For one to say, okay, do we need to really do this business? Do we find a way of hiving it off? Do we need to take some drastic actions? So stagnant for 3 years and loss making for 2 more years, that's not very reassuring. So it's important that it's not like the line managers made a mistake. Probably they inherited a mess and therefore it continues to be like that. So maybe they are not screwing up, but it's not reassuring. The best performing division belongs to an industry which is growing in double digits. So I can eliminate this. And so the best performing industry is in a sweet spot. Right? So I'm worried about the two non-performing ones. So if one is really doing fantastically and other two are doing poorly, I know that I still have a pot to deal with, but I'm still worried about these two. Why am I running this? Why don't I just give it off and reduce my stress and run only this and enjoy myself? So the best performing one doing well or doing poorly vis-a-vis the industry which is going in double digits, either in a sweet spot or it's also losing ground and an industry that's really doing well. That's not my area of concern. I'm worried about the two underperforming divisions. People holding senior positions have been replaced 2 years ago by fresh and young talent. This is a change. Right? As a guy who's handed it over, I'm probably not interfering and say, okay, this is the direction you want to take the company in, go right ahead and try that. But if I've had 2 years of this fresh and young talent and they've still not managed to stem the tide or still not managed to make profits out of it, I'm still worried. The rate at which the employees are leaving the best performing divisions is higher than the industry average. This puts pressure on the best performing division as well. That will make me more stressed. It will not reduce my stress. Right? So C, D, E are easily ignored. Between A and B, A is so much better. I'm worried. You tell me that two divisions are loss making, and then you tell me that, look, they may be loss making, but there's still leading financial institutions that want to invest in it because the long-term future is good. I'm a happy guy. Some of the senior employees who left Lal Sons in recent past have complained to Sudarshan the long cherished values of the organization, such as respect for elders, job security, etc., are being compromised. Which of the following options, if true, will indicate to Sudarshan the employees are misleading him? And so it's a very important point, a very strong word here, misleading him. And so it's not like they're saying which of the following options will, if true, will indicate to Sudarshan that the complaints are overstated. That means there is a case for some error in communication. This is misleading him. They're actually trying to tell him something that probably is not true. And so a powerful word. So this sentence, you're looking for a choice that might even paint some of the senior employees in bad light. You don't want to mislead your chairman. Mislead is a strong, powerful word. So you're looking for a strong, powerful choice which casts senior employees in mildly poor light at least. The replaced employees have been average performers for years. Yeah, this is important. Very important. They've been average performer for years. So they've been rightly pushed out or let go of, and then they come back and complain. So the job security part, which they don't have now, is something that they enjoyed and abused for a long time. They've been average performers for many years. So now they're complaining that they're trying to mislead Sudarshan. That's an important choice. I like that. When senior employees were assigned to lead challenging but critical positions in the organization, they resigned. They did not take up that extra load. They were offered something. They were asked to take something and push themselves harder. They said, look, we're not doing that. And then they resigned. And then behind the new management's back, they've gone and spoke to Sudarshan. I like this also. This also seems like a very interesting choice. Both cast the senior employees in bad light. If given a great chance, you throw it away. Or you've been average and you're pushed out. Both not good. The senior employees were replaced by people below them and not from outside the organization. I don't know how this is material. You're a president, your vice president gets your job, or someone from outside gets a job. If it is from people below them, then it's not like someone new is coming in. But if you're still asked to leave your job, then job security is still an issue. I don't know. Someone from outside, new ideas is more of a shock, but I don't think it's such a big factor. And below them or outside, probably not such an important factor. So I'm going to ignore this choice. The other two are better. The replaced senior employees had only 4 more years of service and were not compensated for the premature termination. And so this is bad. And this is a wrong thing to do. You should probably, if they have only 4 years of service, they should be. So this is This paints the senior leaders, senior employees in good light. But we are looking for something that will indicate that they are misleading him. So this is not the right choice. The number of senior employees voluntarily leaving this organization is lower than the industry average. This again is reassuring. It's lower, so nothing wrong. So they're not. So their complaints are unwarranted. So they come and complain. They're probably trying to create an issue where none exists, but they're not actively misleading. This is not a misleading thing. Right? So this is not wrong, but it's not our number one thing. So I think it's down to these two. And so between these two, that's a very close choice. They've been average for years, so they deserve to be pushed out. So that's interesting. So they deserve to be pushed out. They were pushed out. What's wrong with that? Second one, they were asked to lead challenging but critical positions in the organization. They resigned. And so I like this because this is the new management has proactively given them an opportunity to prove themselves. They've been given the chance, not just challenging, but critical. They've been given an opportunity on a platter to take up something new and have a wonderful second innings under new management and leadership. And then they kind of chickened out. Now if they go back and say they've lost all respect, they're not giving this, then that's misleading. So this is the exact opposite of what the message they're trying to convey to Mr. Sudarshan Lal. And so these guys were given a chance on a platter and they did not take it. And then they're going and complaining. So this is the choice. Chagganlal, the CEO, was certain that someone in his leadership team was leaking information to Sudarshan Lal well before Chhaganlal communicated. How best to Chhaganlal Jha respond to this? This is something that CEOs hate. The CEO wants to give news to the chairman, be it good or bad, and not for providing color or flavor, but it's his job. And so, if I'm saying something to my boss about my division's performance, I want to be the guy giving him the first input. And then my boss can speak to a couple of other guys to know what else could be done. But I don't want somebody else going and giving an update to my boss. Right? What should he do? Chhaganlal should request Sudarshan to kindly wait for him to communicate, as informal sources may lead to misinformation. I love this choice. Right? Informal sources may lead to misinformation. I have one thing that I'm worried about. I might have spoken about that worrying thing in my meeting because I want to highlight the importance of that small thing to my team. But that's not what I'm going to escalate to the chairman. I don't want him worrying about it. I'm handling it. I'll take the decision on what needs escalation and does not need escalation. Somebody else goes and says, oh, he spoke 20 minutes in the meeting about this. And then the chairman gets a wrong impression about what is escalated and not escalated. So wait for him. Wait for the first update from me. And informal sources may lead to misinformation. Very relevant point. I like this choice. Unless I find something really good, I'm plumping for this. Should complain about this to Sudarshan? Yeah, perhaps. Threaten to resign? No. A small issue. Somebody is leaking, you find the leak, you communicate, you're good. It's not something to threaten to resign about. Chagganlal should request his team to continue passing information since it brings down the communication barrier. No? Chagganlal leaking information. It's a bad phrase. Giving information, providing updates might have given it a neutral color. This is not about communication. It's not even about hierarchy. This is about the CEO having a chance to convey something to the chairman before somebody else jumps the gun. There's nothing wrong with the CEO saying, hey, chairman, let me give you the update first. Then you do whatever you need to do. And so this is not an opportunity to communicate better. Chagganlal should understand that this is bound to happen, should not bother. And so the rule of thumb in many of our exams, the passive choice is usually easy to weed out. There's a passive choice. And a lot of us go towards the passive choice in life because it solves us the hassle of going through a process and avoids confrontation. But that's generally not the most preferred course of action. Definitely, usually not the preferred answer choice. So don't do anything is not a right answer, generally. Right? Chhaganlal should threaten his team. I don't like threatening the team. I can convey, I can communicate, I can tell them, dudes, you're not doing this. It's my job, so don't jump the gun. They'll be fired by the weekend. That's not the way to go about it. doesn't stop immediately. So you have a problem, you don't take the fire hose to it immediately. You try to sort it out, you try to settle it down, you try to speak to the chairman, but you don't threaten somebody to fire. At round 5 of this, you can do that, not at round 1. And so, easy answer, choice A.